Hello, I'm Michael with WriterSanctuary. I was asked recently on whether I queried agents, and the short story of it is no. Now, although it'd be kind of cool to have a major label on your book, it's not the end of the world if you query and get rejected. And that's because there's so many different ways to self-publish your books nowadays that it really doesn't matter as long as you have a decent marketing strategy. So today, let's talk about the reasons why I don't query the agents for selling my books. Now, first of all, it has nothing to do with the inability to write a good story. In fact, I put 100% into everything I create because I want to tell the best story possible. So it's not like I had a few queries and people didn't like it and they moved on. Now, for me, as long as the target audience is happy, it doesn't matter who publishes your book. Of course, it'd be nice to have resources, but not everybody has the time, patience, or money for all that. So we got to make do with what we got. Now, the first reason why I don't query agents is because I don't like writing for an audience of one. Agents and publishers are in it to make money. If they don't think they can sell your book's not going to see the light of day. So you have to make the agent happy, who then has to make the publisher happy. Essentially, you're cutting out the rest of your audience. That's why you see a lot of horror stories from authors who get rejection letters saying how the story is great, it's the best thing they've ever read, but... And it's that but that you really have to take into consideration. For the most part, it's but I don't think I can sell your book. So instead, a lot of people try to jump on trends and try to write what the industry wants them to write. I write the stories I want to write to try to engage the readers that I want to engage. Now, granted, I don't have the reach of like Penguin Random House, and I still have to work a lot on my marketing strategy. But at the end of the day, I'm writing the story I want to write. I'm telling the story I want to tell. Now, another reason why I don't really query a lot is because the market is incredibly saturated. Everybody with a keyboard nowadays thinks they can be a writer. And for the most part, a lot of us can. Unfortunately, that also means all these agents are probably getting anywhere from 100 to 1,000 queries a day. So they have to sift through all the other emails and try to find the best story they can possibly sell. That means your story and your query could get buried amongst the multitudes of other people on a daily basis. The internet is full of potential writers, all hitting the same people. So your shit has to stand out. It has to stand out like a phosphorescent fish on a neon ocean. Another element you got to consider when you're querying is that hundreds of rejections can start picking at your self-esteem. Now, this is something I see quite a bit, especially on Twitter, where authors will get thousands of rejections and then eventually decide to give up. Or they'll shelf that particular book and try to write something that the agents think they can sell. So now you're no longer writing the story you want to write, you're writing the story they want you to write. The point is that after so many times of being told no, you kind of expect it. And I've seen so many people give up because of it. Another reason why I don't query agents is because I have stories to tell. I have a folder full of shit that I want to write. If somebody wants to pick one up, that's great, but if not, I'm still going to write those stories. I'm not going to follow some trend because they think they can sell the book. I have a lot of different things that have been rolling around in my head for the past 2 or 3 decades, and I really don't care if they perform well or not. I'm still going to write them. And lastly, one of the biggest reasons why I like being a self-published author, aside from the querying part, is that I love to learn new things. So when I develop a new strategy for how to market a book, or I come up with a new way to create a character sheet on something like Readsy, or expanding my ability to write in general, like I loved taking the Readsy Masterclass, and you can definitely tell it made a huge improvement in my writing style. Point is that I love to learn, and when it comes to self-publishing, there's a lot to learn. So it checks off all the boxes for me, really. Now, does this mean that I would be averse to an agent reaching out to me because they read something that they liked that I wrote? Absolutely not. Go ahead, contact me. Just because I'm not querying agents doesn't mean that eventually I don't want one. After all, they have access to resources that I probably will never have. So if somebody reads Shadows of Atlantic City and decides, hey, I think my publisher would like this book, I'll definitely move it off of Amazon. But until somebody reaches out to me, I'm not going to worry about it. I have a slew of books that are just waiting to be written. Now, there's nothing wrong with querying. You can query all you want. And some people out there will drop maybe 5 queries and get a book deal right off the bat. But from what I've seen, for the most part, it takes hundreds and hundreds of rejections before you find that one. And I would rather not write for an audience of one. But that doesn't mean you have to give up on it. Every author will have a completely different experience. Some of you will enjoy the process of hunting for an agent, while others will say, fuck it, and go ahead and self-publish. It really comes down to what you want, what you're looking for. Follow the path that works best for you. And for the love of all that's holy, don't shelf your book if you can't get it out into an agent's hands. After 1,000 or so rejections, I've seen a lot of authors shelf their book and move on to something else. And usually those books will just sit there until they get rewritten to fit the narrative for whatever's going on socially that day. Instead, they could have self-published the book, learned a little bit of marketing, made a few sales, and gained a bit of an audience. Now, I'm just saying that if you query a bunch of agents and you can't really get any nibbles, there's no reason to put your book away and throw it in a drawer somewhere. That one book that you shelf might wind up being something that turns into a bestseller that opens all kinds of doors for you. Like I always say on my show, never give up, never surrender. Anywho, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. For more videos about self-publishing, blogging, freelance writing, or anything else I cover, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. I think that's going to do it for me today. I got to write about my book event as an author. I'll see you next time.